welcome to another weekly live stream. This is the weekly live stream where I do some development of Mythruna while you guys watch and hang out and chat with me. Hopefully we're streaming. Looks like it. All right. So before we get too much farther, let's thank the patrons. Oops, clicked the wrong thing. Woo! So thanks, guys. As the year comes up and I have to pay fees to the county and so on, it's really nice to have this extra income. And without further ado, let's get started. Today we're going to be looking at finishing off the object assembly stuff, and I made a lot of progress in the last 2 or 3 hours since I posted the invite for the I don't know why YouTube Creator Studio has stopped doing the pop-up. So I have to like grab this window. If I want this view, I have to grab it and then it's weird. Anyway. So we can go ahead and minimize that. So yeah, I've been working on the object assembly stuff, and I'm like nearing the last mile here. I've actually been able to save and load some objects. So like I could save it, and it so of course it won't. Yeah, there we go. Didn't update my thing, but you can come in here and you can edit the design. Come in here and screw around with them. I've been finding bugs left and right. I'm really trying to get a release out this weekend. I said I was going to do one at the end of November, and while we're a little late, hopefully Sunday night I can get one out with the new stuff and the wedge colliders and all this other stuff, and so you guys can play with the object editor. Yeah, I found a bug here that if I have two objects of the same name, it gets confused about which one I'm editing sometimes. So that's not good. But let's show off some of the stuff. I think if I load in a few of my so let's do the chest bottom. Uh-oh. How come that didn't work? Oh no. I was hoping to have some pre-built objects. Oh, it didn't fail. It just didn't work. That's weird. This was working before. So if I import that, it's not importing. What about if I import a chair? Yeah, the chair works. Oh, it's way the hell over there. That's why. That's problematic. So yeah, see, it's way over there. Why don't we fix that real quick? I can't really, well, okay, so let me show off the editor real quick by re-enabling dev mode, if that still works, before we get into debugging my mess. If you are on the Discord, you can post details there, and we might be able to help you figure out what's going on. You actually, if you download the executable, are you running on Linux or Windows? If you're running on Windows, actually either one, Windows or Linux, you should be able to download the executable version, and it has Java built in. You don't even have to have Java installed. Let's see, but I would very much like to help you get that working. You guys remind me after the halfway point. I'll talk about what the next, what my next major goal is for the end of the year. The executable version is the one that shows up as, hold on. Don't update. This Windows executable, that version. One that's got 14 downloads. It says download the zip, extract the files, run Mythruna client.exe. And that is the one that has Java built in. You don't need Java installed. It'll just run it. Okay, so I did something that broke. Yeah, okay. When I was working on this, I had like a development mode, and I've added a bunch of stuff that no longer is compatible with development mode. And so I have to go back and add some. I mean, really, I'd rather. Wait, which? Yes, it's this one. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong method. So if not development mode. But yes, I would like as many people to be able to play the game as possible. So if you can figure out, if we can figure out what's wrong, that would be great. Okay, so on disable. Okay, let's see if this will get us running. Looks like we got 5 concurrent viewers on today. Welcome to the chat if you have not watched one before. Okay, so yeah, so this is the so I've got like this cabinet I was making. It's made out of several parts. It's got a cabinet bottom, which is this shell here, and a cabinet ring, which is this top part, because you know, in Mythruna it's very hard to have this sort of joinery here and also this sort of joinery here where it sits on top. So I ended up creating a ring that's like quarter of a block off or half a block off and then shifting it over. And so that made a nice looking cabinet. And then you've got these left hinges and right hinges, you know, left hinge here, right hinge here. And so each of those has like a door underneath it. And so if here you have one of these hinges selected, then you can say open, and it'll open the doors, and close, and it'll close the doors, which I think is really cool. And so anyway, I'm trying to be able to import this stuff into the game, and my regular blueprint importer that you guys have used a bunch of times is apparently not working for these giant block objects, or these ones that I made with blockheads. So we'll fix that really quick so that I can do some stuff in the game. But essentially, you know, we technically don't have to do that. It would just be cooler, right? It'd be cooler if we did. So let's see if I can fix that really quick. I think it's just a missing trim, to be honest. A trim and a center. So let's check. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's put our debug stuff back. Nice. Yeah, I think it's interesting how quickly Starfield was like on everybody's mind, and now everybody's saying it's boring. So I guess it burns through a lot faster than something like Baldur's Gate 3, which I think is funny, because it's like a whole universe to explore, right, or a whole galaxy or something. But, you know, I think it might be a matter of taste. I don't have a PC that can run it, and nor do I have an Xbox, so. Okay, what were we doing? We were going to look at the blueprint editor state and figure out why my stuff imports incorrectly. Select import, so import file here, that's what we need to do. So we have trim set to false. I think that's what that is. Yeah, that's, you know, and I struggle with that with Mythruna. I kind of want some depth, but, you know, giant infinite world. But if like the, you know, if the immediate 300 feet around you is not interesting, it doesn't matter how big the world is. So I think about that a lot, and I have a whole giant list of things I keep track of to add to the game, just little things. So I think that blocks file format, I think I need to pass true here and then center the recenter the things. Yeah. in general, I think Bethesda suffers from, like, having come from the BioWare games. When I first played Skyrim for sure, and Oblivion to some extent, I was kind of disappointed in the depth of the quests and things, because BioWare, Knights of the Old Republic and Neverwinter Nights and stuff. I mean, you could just really dive into, and it felt much more like you were part of a story. I don't know. Yeah. The link to the Discord is on that same page. So up in the upper left corner, if you go to that link and type the password dragon, the Discord link is there. So like if I pull back up this page, right at the top of this page is the Discord link. So you can just click that and join us, and we'll wave and say hi and so on. Just basically, I like to put just like that slight gateway where somebody has to type the URL and type the password, just kind of keep people, hey there, how's it going? Aw. Well, nice that you could join, Joseph. Sorry you can't stay. We're gonna do some cool stuff tonight. Are you going to the right link? Yeah, you gotta type in the manual link. Yeah. That way, so sometime, I believe before June, I'm going to open it up to the general public to download. The reason I haven't yet is because as soon as I do that, I have to put before I do that, I have to put a whole bunch of anti-griefing stuff on my world server. And that is something I've neglected to implement so far. I'm putting it off. And so I prefer to have people who had to like take a slightly extra effort to get into the game. It also keeps the Discord really nice, because all of you guys who have gone through the trouble, it's because all of you guys who go through the trouble to type the link, you tend to be friendlier and stuff on the chat, which is kind of nice. So I really appreciate all of you who did join the Discord, because so far we've got a really nice group, and you guys are great. Okay, so what was I doing? Blocks files format. I need to look up that. I got sidetracked here. So blocks file format. You have arrived. Oh, so I can see you. Haha. We can wave. Hello. So now you are famous. Well, within the limits of my my own little audience here. Oh wow, we got 7 concurrent viewers. I think that's a record for recently. Okay, so read blocks. We want to trim it, and then we want to rehome it. So I'm going to pass true, and so this actually will be a way for you guys to also recenter your blueprints, because we'll trim that, and then let's see, we always make sure our field is 40 by 40, 20. Object cells 20. Yeah, so that's 20 divided by 4 is 5. Can't make that work. I believe that the actual size is 10. 10 by 10 is what I think, so but I'm just going to double check. No, please go ahead. Just recognize this is really, really early days. Like, if you look at my master spreadsheet here, and the summary of things I've got, like, according to this, I'm only like somewhere between 13 and 44% into the game. I mean, these releases have like huge expectations and of course that's not real. But there's still a ton to do. Like, I've got this huge task list that, so keep in mind, there's no adventure, there's no creatures yet, other than the Gafen that you can place yourself and so on. So, but please feel free to do whatever playthroughs you want. I make no objections. I think they're great. I love watching them too, by the way, so definitely post them. And if I need to make a I need to make a playlist for not, other people's Mythruna playthroughs and things for my channel. I started working on Mythruna in 2011. And that was the original version that you can download from the main thing. That's the old one. The newer version, so one day I need to put together a history video. Cool. So hold on, I'm trying to... Oh, so I've got a copy tool here. Nice. So hold on a second. Let me think for a second, and then I will tell about my history. Copy the data into the current array. Yeah. And then somewhere we calculated the offset. Calculate size. Okay, so hold on. We calculate the size. Okay, hold on. I'm stealing a bunch of code because I can't think and I can't talk and remember stuff at the same time. It's really hard. Actually, it's all right there. So just steal all this, come down to where I do the import. Yeah, there we go. So my history, in 2011 I started writing this game because I had been trying to make an RPG since I was old enough to code. I mean, I used to make text adventures. I wrote my own MUD back in the day. Every time I tried to do graphical adventures, I'd done like a bunch of work with fractals and terrain generation and working with 3D. And in my day job, I did 3D graphics work. And then I found myself with an abundance of free time and played Minecraft for a few days. I'm like, you know what? I could do all of my RPG dreams in a game, in a world like this, and generate worlds and so on. That was like Minecraft 0.4. I don't even remember exactly when 0.6 wasn't out yet. I think it was just about to come out. Anyway, and so like I frantically coded up something over a weekend, got like my prototype working, and then within a month had like the networked version, and that's the version you guys can download from the regular site. And then the following year opened my SimSilica company, and then that very month my wife's brain cancer was back and kind of threw our whole life into disarray. And while that's all stable, we still feel the after effects to this day. And so development slowed down. I built the MOS, Mythruna open source software. I basically rewrote the engine as if it was a bunch of open source stuff, like the base stuff, keeping track of blocks, block databases, world generation, all that stuff is part of a set of tools that will be open sourced at some point. Now, the Mythruna content, the specific fractals Mythruna uses, the specific game logic Mythruna uses, all that stuff is proprietary to Mythruna, but there's the underlying stuff, the infinite world paging, creating graphics from block objects, being able to specify your own textures and build block sets and things. All that is going to be open source, along with the custom physics engine I use and so on. And so I reorganized it that way just because I wasn't sure when I would get to develop. And if I reorganized it like an open source project, when I got back into it, everything was organized. I could focus on, you can't see me waving my hands while I'm talking. So when I could work on it for a weekend, I could come in, I could be productive almost instantly because everything was organized, and I could edit one place without, crapping all over something else. Whereas the original Mythruna engine was kind of collapsing under its own weight because I didn't really know where I was going when I started. I just wanted all this stuff. And so after COVID, we were home a lot. And my kids didn't go anywhere. Nobody went anywhere. I found myself with a bunch of time. Hey, Autumn, how's it going? Found myself with a bunch of time, and so I really could dive in. And it was sometime around then that I actually put together it was coming up on one of the Mythruna anniversaries, and I actually put together the master tracker list with my giant roadmap, and that I've been adding to constantly as I go, and came up with a specific plan. Now things take like 4 or 5 times longer than I expect, and so I'm well now 2 years beyond where I wanted to be, and so on. But we're really on track, and we're right about the point in the video. We're far enough into the video that I'll let you guys know. I woke up the other day and I decided what I want to have by January 1st or whatever that release is. Oh, Stardew Valley's fun. Yeah, it's an addictive game. So the next stretch goal for me is to have at least one quest implemented, which means there's going to be an NPC in the town that you can talk to that will give you a quest, and it'll be probably a stupid fetch quest because those are the easiest to do, right? Oh, I lost my thing in the cave. Can you go get it for me? But this requires me to build the quest infrastructure, the pick something up for somebody else infrastructure, the give it back to them infrastructure, and I think even just having one NPC in each town that could give you a random fetch quest would put a lot of life into the world that's not there, minimum AI, and so on. So it forces me to make a bunch of things. Now I don't know if this is all feasible, but that's my goal. I'm excited to work on it. So that's always good. Yeah. Yep. Well, the important thing is when you miss a self-imposed deadline, remember that they are self-imposed, and that it's okay to move that target. Nobody but you is going to beat yourself up, so don't. But make sure you set another deadline, right? Because they are motivating. Again, like I tell my kids, the old aphorism, shoot for the stars, and if you fall short, you'll at least be on the moon, kind of thing. But so far, Mythruna development is all about that, right? I decided I wanted object crafting done, blah 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 by the end of November, and I will get object assemblies in at some point, but they'll fall short of where I wanted. We won't be able to hold them as items yet, but we should be able to place them down. I hoped to get that done tonight, but we got sidetracked. We had dressing and hen, but I noticed. Oh, nice. Yeah, I ate too much pie. We bought some pies, to support some school program, and I ate all the apple pie myself over 3 or 4 days. Okay, I actually don't want to do. Let me think for a second. Okay, so this is calculating the size, and why do I do that? So calculate size should be returning size of all the cells. And then I set that. Oh, I see what it is. It's giving me a minimum and a maximum. Ah. Aha. I was going to say, because we already know what the array. Okay, so. Or it's not giving minimum max, it's giving me a lower position and a size. Is that what it's doing? I got too many files open, guys. I hate that. Edible Xbox. Calculate size. Min and max. Okay, cool. That's what I hoped. Alright, so let's see. So we want to make it in between. So we want range sub 1.x minus range sub 0.x divided by 2. Then we also want 5 minus. I think that's what I want. And the same for z. I don't think it was ever meant to be played if it's edible. Um, all right. So, and we'll set y equal to 0 for now. Let's just, usually things are already set in space the way we want them. So, cell utils, okay, object cells, block cells. So we want to make a new cell array. New cell array 10, I believe. And then we want cell to copy data into cells at XYZ. And we want to copy from block cells range sub-0 x y z. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So it will not only recenter, but and then the size. Okay, so let's YZ. Okay, so that. Then we need the size. XS, YSZ, S. Okay, hopefully I didn't just break alright. Let's see if I fixed imports. What was it? Blocks.cells. But yeah, I'm excited to I started thinking about all these simple quests that could be done, and of course it's really easy to think of complicated ones, but I think initially it'll be either, you know, go smash this particular color of flower, or, you know, go pick up my, you know, sword I left at the bottom of this cave or whatever. Because we already know we have a minimal like object interaction that can already be done because the dungeon quest does it. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. Reminder to anyone who joined after I said it, but in the upper left corner of the screen is a link where you can download this, you know, the latest version of the game, which is about to be a new version, and that's also where the Discord link is if you want to join the Discord. So let me, oh yeah, you see I changed the formatting of these so they don't look like the glass style. That is the next big thing. That's what I'm talking about, the quest. That's the next thing I'm going to be working on, quests. Sorry if that wasn't big enough, but that's going to be my focus between now and January 1st, is what I need to do to get quests working. Some minimum amount of quests. Okay, we want to actually blueprints and new blueprint. Let's see, let's close that because it's okay. So chest bottom block select. Oh no. Okay, cool. Well, at least we're getting something. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you were responding to that. Sounds glorious hearing you excited. But yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get basic quests working. So I don't need this, but let's put these here. Let me see what's going on. Maybe I got the copy data backwards. So this is copying Oh yeah, I think I've got them backwards. Let's go look before I guess and try again, because it's expensive to try again, especially on the live stream. Cell utils, copy data source to destination. So yes, I definitely have them backwards. Assembly editor state. No, blueprint editor state. There we go. So these are the, that's the destination, that's the source, that's the destination. Okay. I don't have a lot of time to play games, but I started watching some different gamers on YouTube, and it's very tempting to dive into some games. So far, all of my gaming is satisfied by the little bit I play, like Minecraft Dungeons, while I'm waiting for my kids to, my grown adult kids, to get ready for dinner and stuff. Of course, I'm mentioning the M word in my live stream. Of course, it'll get converted to text for the closed captioning and stuff, and this will bring in all kinds of interesting traffic, I'm sure. All right, so let's try again. Blueprints, new blueprint, import the chest bottom. Boink. Oh. It's still array index out of bounds, so poop. The problem is, like, and this takes so long to test. Wait. So block cells is the source. Let me just double check these parameters, make sure I've got them right. Yeah. I kind of like Minecraft Dungeons. It's just, it reminds me a lot of, like, kind of Gauntlet if you took it to the extremes, and I was a big fan of Gauntlet back in the day, and it's essentially Diablo with, you know, Minecraft block graphics, right? And I don't have the original Diablos on my PlayStation, so it satisfies me, and my character is powerful enough now that it's really quite fun to wade through the guys. And so let's just double check that I've got this right. So we want to copy from source from XYZ into cells XYZ, which should be half the size from the center, and then, yeah, I don't know why this is a problem. Source destination. I didn't want to do this, but it's just on a live stream. This sort of debugging, you already know it's going to fail, and you're only running just to see. Crap. And it already takes so long to run, and probably I want to do access to XS. So some calculation is wrong, and I really just should have continued with what we were doing. I just wanted to have chests, you know, that I could place. This is getting me back for getting so much done before the live stream as far as hooking up that user interface goes. I mean, the come on. when I posted the link for the, the invite or whatever, the scheduled video, the only way you could edit blueprints was in that startup development mode. They didn't, like when we come in here, come on. Like when we come in here and hit workbench, this wasn't here. None of the, being able to like select it and edit and have this window up here that lets you save and load and so on, none of that was there. Okay, so new export. We know this is going to fail, but let's select the... I wonder if the chest is too big for the... It could just be that the object is too big. So we ought to be able to... Come on. Blueprint... State... Whoops. Okay. So... The range is 4 to 3. Yeah, this makes no sense then. Okay, so we trimmed, everything's set to 0, that's fine. Our size is 4 and 1 and 3. I wonder if the range is inclusive or exclusive. Well, we would figure that out. And then it complains, when we're getting a cell, from the do edit. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. This seems like it's working okay. And then it's the add cells edit that, that's what it is. So we do want to do that. And why is get cell Radix out of bounds. Cell array 136. So the positive side of these side trips we make is that everything, every time I come over here into the M block stuff, that's the open source stuff. So right now I'm editing the open source stuff, and everything we find here is a bug that I'm fixing in the eventual. I need to give it a default value. A lot of the calls. So anyway, every bug we fix over there is a bug that helps everybody. So we want to say 0 here, and that will. But yes. Oops. So yeah, anyway. Of course, some of the stuff I have added to Mythruna, I do plan to port back to the Moss stuff. I kind of hack it into Mythruna first as the test bed. Some of the environment tweening and Okay. Moment of truth. Yeah, close that guy. Select. Yay! Okay, it's not right, but we're getting there. Okay. So the size is really 1 bigger, is what's happening here. But we're getting closer. So let's just exit out of there. Come over here. Yeah, so it's inclusive, basically. All right, so after all this work, I mean, I was so productive before this live stream started. I hoped it would carry on through. I was really excited. I was like counting the minutes as it came down because like 2 minutes before the live stream, I'm like, man, I am on a roll. But making some objects that are just stacked stools would have been boring. Especially since one of the things I was hoping to work on tonight was the animation if everything else went fast, but anyway. Okay, come on. Load it up. Load them up, move them out. Rawhide. Okay. Okay. Blueprints. New blueprint. Close. Alright, let's implement the chest bottom. Ah, yay. Okay. So let's say chest bottom. We don't need to set, we're not going to place these directly, so we're good. What does it look like carved? I need to really come up with a better, yeah, we'll do carved, but I really need to come up with a better wood texture for this sort of thing. See, yeah, because that's just lame looking. Okay, so save the blueprint. We'll do a new blueprint. And one of the things I haven't even looked at yet is the chest ring, because that was supposed to be a, this one we definitely want carved. So chest ring, save blueprint, new blueprint, and chest top select. Yay! And then we carved all the other ones. Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Okay, so the chest top's not going to be carved because there's a bug in the carving. Of course there is, and I'm not fixing that tonight. That can wait for a long time. In fact, okay, chest top, save the blueprint. Okay, so now we've got chest bottom, chest ring, chest top. So let's go over to workbench. I think new design. Let's call this chest, and that's the design name. When we make the object in the world, it'll just be called chest. Actually, let's call this wood chest. Okay. And now if we saved it, it would go. But let's, so we add a part. This is how you use the object assembly editor. You add a part, you say, I want to add the chest bottom. It adds the chest bottom, like that. Okay? And now probably we're going to want to put a hinge right there. And so we'll say add a joint. We'll call it hinge. And that's, so the only option you have is open and close right now. There'll be like lock and unlock and some other ones later, but right now we have open and close. Okay, so that created a hinge. It's in the middle here somewhere. You can't see it. So if we pop it up, we should, yeah, so we start to see it here. Actually, we can make a lot of noise by holding the button down. I think 0.5 is what we want. Yeah, and then for Z, like minus 0.375 or something like that. Yeah, and I wish that, okay, so I think that's right. Okay, and then similarly for, while we could leave the hinge here and it would work just fine, our lives will be easier, I think, when we set the top. Maybe not. So now that we've got a hinge there, we have this hinge group up here. We can come up here, we can add the top to the thing. So now it's added. Oh, so that actually did center it nicely. Cool. Now this is centered over that joint, and we want to uncenter it. So we're going to zero out the Z here. Yeah. Okay. So now we've got our base, which is this, and a joint, a hinge joint. And of course we want to copy our settings. Well, actually, let's look at what that would do. If I open it, okay, see, like the, this is like the resting state of the joint, and this is the open state of the joint. So you can open and close it, and you can see what it looks like. And actually we'll set the, you can also just drag it and see. We don't want it to move at all. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to make these values the same as those. Eventually, again, this is not the final user interface. This is just what will let us explore some cool stuff. and then the real user interface will probably be more constrained if we're not in creative mode. Okay, so now if we open and close, it won't move anywhere. But what we want is we want it to pitch up at the end. So we'll come over here and we'll say, I want you to pitch up 50 degrees, okay? So now we open, and ta-da! We've got an open and closing chest. Check that out. Okay? And so now what we would want to be able to do is say save it. You know, we could come back here and we can edit this design. We say open, close, open. Oh yeah, it's just still selected from before. Okay, open. So there's little UI state bugs that'll get worked out. But what we want to be able to do is, in our object tool, right now, you can only cycle through your blueprints, but we would want the our object assemblies to. And I would argue that eventually we might only want object assemblies to show up in our object tool. So we could make a separate assembly tool, and I'm inclined to do that because it's simpler. So the only issue is that we would want it to look a little different than this one maybe. But for right now, we'll just make it look the same, and or maybe yeah, we'll just make it look the same for now. So let's go and make ourselves an object tool. A assembly tool. What do we want to call it? Yeah, so that's why the object tool would have been nice, but let's go into the scripting. Let's go into the scripting. So we've got the object tool here. Let me see how hard it would be to add it to this. So blueprint source I still want to use. So that's all, this would all work. So we place, we'd get the selected blueprint, which we set to an entity ID, I believe. We set it to focus. Focus is an entity ID. Yeah. Okay. So all we have to do is make sure our blueprints contain yeah, except for not, right? Okay. So first of all, let me just replace that. Let's just see if this would work. Let's what is it? Assembly blueprint info, and for the filter, we want to say. So I started doing this thing where I could say this, and I think that's better. So let's just see. So that's on equip. We grab all those entities, and they should all work. Selected blueprints. Shape load cells. Here's where we would have a problem. So we added the method to, hopefully I haven't lost you guys. We're getting close to coolness here. Base object API, somewhere here, I added a thing to shape info to load the cells. Load cells for name will not work for assemblies. So what does load cells for name do if it can't find the name? Like, if it were just me, I'd just run it and see what happened. Search apply shape name. Yeah, so this isn't going to work. But if we... Is it going to return null? Because that would be fine. Okay, well, for the moment, I'm just going to I'm going to comment this out. And we just won't do anything with the offset. We just put it right where we click. Blueprint source is all good. Rotate. Oh, that's the other. Okay, so there's another place where we get blueprints. I should probably combine those. So rotate is not really rotate. That's when we spin the mouse wheel. So all that's the same. All that's the same. Okay. So we spin the mouse wheel, and we select the next blueprint in line to show in the little bottom area. Okay, so I think that some stuff won't work, but we ought to be able to place... Yeah, like the copy blueprint won't work. Let's see if our object tool would now show our chest. It won't create the right object type. We won't be able to open and close it. But that's something we can hack in as well. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Okay, I believe it's already selected. Yep, so what happens if we roll our mouse wheel? Nothing. Oh, it won't be able to load it to even display it. But can we place one? Nope. Okay, so what did it do? It said... oh, yeah. I never set up the stuff to load the shapes for the .asm extension. So we got to do that. And that is not a problem. That is not a big deal. But one more thing to do, eh? Somewhere around here. Is it in here? Shape registry builder. Okay, assembly shape factory, which I had over here. Okay, reload. It's weird. Shouldn't have been changed by another application, but okay. Okay. Aha, I put the hooks in to do this. Yeah, so this is probably what we got. Unsupported assembly type, maybe? Or no. That's weird. Okay, so, okay, so we've got two places we need to check. And not asm equals shape name get type. Okay, so if it's not any of those, skip it. And if it is one of those, which is going to be the more likely case, so we'll put it first. Then we need to do more. We need a not cell storage. Well, we do need that too. Sub assembly ID sub assembly oops, storage. Okay, so this will be how we know where to get our this dot sub assembly storage equals blah blah. Okay, and so then we sub assembly ID from string shape name get name. Okay, so we're taking the name of that, which is that weird, so is that the oh, it's from a file. No, we've chopped off that already. So it's this ID. That ID looks suspiciously homogeneous. I'm hoping that doesn't cause problems. Okay. Well, we'll see. When we save more, if I get collisions, then we'll worry about it. Okay, so we're taking that name and we're converting it to a subassembly ID, and then we will return the subassembly we load. Okay, and then we need to, where we specified that, which is in this guy. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, that's way over here, isn't it? Subassembly. Let's just keep those straight. So sub storage, cell storage, and any place I was passing. Okay. And then in here, we need another one of these, like this. So subassembly. Basically, I'm wiring up this stuff to be able to pull to load the sub-assemblies that, you know, the binary versions. Prior to this, it was loading just the like there's a you know, JSON version of these assemblies, the sub-assemblies, that explains that whole hierarchy of the bottom chest and the blah blah blah. And then there's a binary version, and then, you know, at runtime we use the binary version for the things that the player saves and loads. And so, excuse me. So I'm wiring those up, and this wires it up to the session, and this subassembly. Okay, so that should wire it all up. Will it even compile? I think I'm probably missing some imports. Yeah, definitely. Whoa, missing more than imports. Somebody shape factory 149. Okay, let's somewhere I left a parentheses out or something. Oh, curly brace. Yeah, okay. Now we can see the real errors. Ooh, okay. That's the one. Okay, so we're missing comma. Shape registry builder. Yes, yeah, so it's not telling us the real errors yet still. Excuse me. Sub storage line 58. Oh. Yeah, okay. See, it sits off. I hate when I have to format like this. You know, I should probably do this because then you can actually see what you're looking at. Anyway. Now, those are the errors I expected. Okay. And we're going to need them in both places, so I'm going to do it. So we'll do that here. There we go. And yes, you guys can all scream at me for not using a fancy IDE that would do that for me, but okay. Shape Factory 130. I think that I just got the name wrong. Name. Protect the innocents. Okay. That one, that one. Session get subassembly. On shape registry, so what is session? It should be game session. If you want to be a coder, it definitely helps to have. Oh, that's interesting. This is going to be a problem. Oops. Definitely helps to have a memory, right? So that's a data session, game session. And so we want this to be data session and this to be game session. Actually, this one can also be data session. And so we can fix that. And so then we have to find out, well, actually if I try to compile, it's going to complain. Okay. Nope, doesn't know what that is. Don't need game session anymore. We just need data session because I moved this method over to data session. It still exists on game session, but I have an open task in my task tracker to fix that. Okay, so game session state is where we need to fix. And I actually remembered the line number this time. Oh yeah, so okay, so instead of that, we want this. And let's make it a little bit, oh crap. Okay. Data session. You find I leave a lot of doo-doo around as commented out code. I go back and clean those up later. But it makes it easier to go back and forth in the meantime. So let's see if that will compile or if I need another import. Oh. Okay. Assembly editor state. Yes, we should not have to do this. Line 359. Oops. 359. Okay, so that's in the huh. This is like the development mode version. That's why. So they are just yeah, stubbed out. You guys are troopers for hanging out with me. Thanks so much. I think we kind of want to see this working, right? Hopefully this will get us there. I'm willing to stay on until I can right-click and see one of these things in the world. And if you guys want to hang out with me while I do that, that's awesome. I get kind of in these productive moods after I get on the live stream, and then like the next night I'll be like in a similar productive mood, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had like people like watching. But I know like when you guys are doing this and I'm talking the whole time, it's taking a portion of my brain away from what I'm working on. But it is fun to have you guys here. I really appreciate it. Oh, it did place an object. Ooh. It placed the wrong object because I have two of those things loaded. Oh, look. 2 stools. Chest. Woohoo! Check it out. We should be able to still drag these guys around. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay. Now, because this didn't have the right object type associated with it, I can't right click on it and say open. But hey, you know what? We've got objects being placed in the world. I actually could fix that real quick. So let's delete these. Delete this. Delete that. Let's fix it so that they'll open and close real quick. It's not that hard. So let's go over here to, where's my test objects? Okay. So when I create, so test, no. Use assembly. Oh, yeah. But there's a base object type. I don't actually have to do these. I could say base closable. Okay, so that will just outright fail on the weird chest thingy. Where do we place? Here we go. And so, where are we doing object type? Okay, that's what we want. Hi, Lando. Lucas, no, I actually find it just the opposite. I'm way more hack and slash when you guys are sitting here, because I'm trying not to like run every little detail down. I know I can come back and clean this up later. You know, Git will tell me, like if I go like this, Git will tell me like all the stuff I did, and I can go, oh, you know what? There's all these commented out code I need to go back and fix. And so like I really, more than anything, hack and slash through this stuff to not keep you guys held up while I like, oh, let me make sure everything's indented perfectly, and oh, that name should change, and I just like comment out code like this, you know, kind of stuff, and then just keep going. So like this, like these all need to come back, and I will fix this to work with both types of blueprints later. But you guys don't need to be around for that. You guys want to, I assume anyway, that you guys want to see the results. So I try to get to the results as quickly as I can. Now, I should have just wired that up to be an object that is open closable. In reality, when you create a sub-assembly or an assembly using the workbench, the game is going to have to analyze it to figure out, well, what kind of hinges did they put on it? What kind of actions do I have to add to this? The next step between now and New Year's would be adding handles so that you can grip it like an item and hold it in your hands. So then you can make your own swords and axes and whatever, tools, anything that you can hold in your hand. One of the first ones I want to do is a pickaxe because I want to start mining. But Mining for real, like for gems and stuff. Anyway, okay, so let's place an object. Wait, which one do we have selected? Let's do the chest. Boink. All right, let's will it open. Boink. Oh no. Oh no. We got the bug. Can I get property shape on null object? Why is it null? It should not be null. Who's doing that? Okay, let's just see if that was a fluke. Let's try again. Right click. No. So if I go over here and I right click on the stool, that works. So something about this chest, can I drag it? Okay, I can drag it. So it's really there. It's not a real object yet. So if I right click on it, you guys maybe can't even see. Oops. So right clicking. Maybe let me unequip, see if it's something to do. Let's try again. Right click. Okay, so we get a different error this time. Action not found for context section action type player character. Oh. Why are you trying to run it on the player character? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Can I do it on the... So, if any of these objects are supposed to be a right click... Oh! So something's broken. Because when I don't have an object selected... So let's try selecting the test wand. So the hand itself is broken. Yeah, so I can do that. I can do that. What about you over here? Can I still open and close you, my original chests? No. Okay. That's interesting. 'Cause that was working before. Let me try the object tool. Can I right click on you? Right click. Okay, so that's not working either anymore. What did I do to break those? Alright, let's figure out what's going wrong. Right click on you, and you give me a bunch of errors. The other guys didn't even give me errors, they just didn't work. So this is in base objects.groovy line 407. Base objects .groovy line 407. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. So we might not have a body. Okay, and so the other ones might have been throwing errors too. Let's like exit out. So this is basically the only way we know we can open and close a object is if they're physical, because they actually have shapes and the hinges, you know, show up in the shapes and so on. The joints. Illusions can't be open and closed. They're not real. You'd have to make it static and then turn it back into an illusion. And I'm actually not sure if that will work. At any rate, the whole ability to create illusions is kind of weird. And eventually everything should be mostly physical objects in the real game. So let's try this again. But this is what I'll be spending my weekend doing, is running down all these weird bugs and edge cases. Yeah, sure. You can post anything you want to Discord as far as ideas. I can't promise to do all of them. I can't promise that I'll remember who told me about them later. If I do them, and I got so many ideas. Okay, so let me try this again. Right click. Okay, now see, it's not letting me do it because it's supposed to. Okay, maybe there's another place. Find joint on null object. Okay. It's my bad. I need to do, yeah, so see, I did it here. Basically what these question marks means is if it's null, if this is null, return null from this. If this is null, return null from this. And so it just basically stops. And these only if clauses, basically they say show the open action only if this is true, but when it's trying to decide if it can show the open action, it's failing. It's crashing. So but just post ideas to the Discord. If they're good, I'll add them to my list. I'm probably up to several hundred at least. I don't know how many. I have a text file that I keep all this stuff in. And a spreadsheet. Not the master tracker, just an idea spreadsheet. Seamus the Slayer. It's a very bold name, I guess. Alright, so let's make it bright outside again. Okay. Yeah, the reason this got style changed is because in the workbench editor, when you're editing a design and you click on one of these, all these, I basically restyled these, and because it's part of the style language, yeah, that makes it show up anywhere that you've got these spinners. And so I don't like the fact that the text, the little pluses and minuses are still green. So that's got to be fixed, but anyway. Let's see if we fixed our other problem. Right click. Okay, so I can't open and close it, but that's because it's not physical. If I make it physical, make it solid is what I want. So now I can't walk into it. Okay, so now I should be able to right click on it and the open and or close should show up. No. Why not? Well, that's true too because my other ones weren't working. Okay, so something is messed up with the shape resolution. I think, well, no, we get shapes. Okay, so I can stand on top of this guy. Let's show you. I'm standing right on top of that. So will we be able to stand on top of this chest? Yep. So the physics engine knows I'm slowly sliding off the back of that. I think they look cool. So the physics engine knows where all the parts are. But for some reason, and we know it was running that code because I wonder if we're missing one more thing. If we look at the test objects, was I adding one more thing? When you use an assembly, create the name, the object type, mass. No, that's when I'm making it static. And again, the other ones aren't working anymore either. And they were created correctly. So I have to look at the code in base objects. So, Ooh. Somebody's responding to me on Discord, I guess. That'll wait. We're in the midst of something here. Okay, so let's echo body. I'm gonna dump a bunch of stuff to the screen. So echo body, echo shape. And oh, I know what's wrong. So I'm gonna leave these in for now, but the thing is, well, first of all, this is now wrong anyway, but if we were to go and look at the assembly shape, where'd it go? So assembly shape right here. Up. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so find joint verb 1, verb 2. So it's like the resting state and the open state. So it should be close open. But what I actually want to do is not even this. I just want to find any joint that has open. So I just want, regardless of which direction, actually, I do care about direction, but I think matches verb. It already has a joint. So your joints have like a verb and a state, you know, so open is open and close is closed. Yeah, so this will be better. And so we want the one that opens and closes, but I changed it to be close open instead of open close. And so that's going to affect all those other things. But so now I just switched it to be a simpler call. And so I should be able to just find joint that has either of them in any order. And in fact, that's what I see. I'm all about open. So let's go ahead and, whoops, echo. You know, kids, it's important to not only have typos, but to cut and paste them several times. All right, so let's try this. Thanks for sticking around. The Pepsi finished several minutes ago. And now we're on water. Alrighty. This will work. I have a good feeling about it. Now, it won't be animated because that's the part I haven't done yet. But it will open and close. And we'll be able to see that the physics object physically changes too, I hope. Okay, fade, come on, show us the good stuff. At some point I have to like consolidate all this logic to one base class, but all right. Excuse me, I cannot speak. Seem to spend our time in the dark. Okay, all right. So let's see. Right click. Open. Look at that. Whee! And it printed out a bunch of stuff that we can't see because it's too bright in the background. But open. Hey, look at that. So it did print out a bunch of debugging output. And so now we can see, is it really still like, oh. Yay! Look at that. Whee! Let me fix this because that's actually not the... Real quick, let me go edit this blueprint because this is not the way... I mean, that's the one that... So let's... What I really want to do is add this... I haven't seen what this looks like yet. Ooh. That's not good. Why it didn't show up? Oh, it's... Okay, it did. I see these things, and these are actually just warnings that I'm doing slow queries. And I see these stack traces, and they scare me, but they're not. They're not scary. Okay, so chest ring. We want to set this to 0. Oops. Actually, we want to line it up a little bit. It just bugged me that the interface between the top and the bottom always seemed to be a little like weird, and so we can do this, and then we can move the chest top up. And so boink, boink, boink. Yep, that should do it. And so if I come back over here, yeah, I don't know if I like it as much as the other. I think that, I mean, it looks more like a chest, but the other one was kind of cute and compact. But let's see. Yeah, see, like this looks more like a chest top to me. Perhaps I could make a thinner one. It would take a lot more blocks, though. I try to be mindful of the number of blocks I'm using in these little objects, because it can get quite high. There's a lot of triangles in here, so to speak. Okay, but that's a decent look. So I like it. Let's save you. Okay, and so we should be able to come back here. Yeah, so it even changed the focus object. And so we right click there, and of course I put it on the grass. Okay, and now we make it static, and now we can open and close it. Open, boink, yay, check it out. I think maybe this would look better if it had a ring on top of the chest too. I kind of like the other one. Anyway, we will all get to experiment with this as much as we want. But I'm on a good track to have a release done this weekend that has this capability in it. And I thank you guys for hanging around for the extra half hour to watch me do it. There's, according to YouTube, there's still 5 of you on, which I think is awesome. Man, look at that mountain off in the distance. This just reminds me of like you know, I don't know, just like my goal was to have like the far terrain look like a skybox, and sometimes it really does, like these far mountains. Like I just want to go up there. That's where the spawn tower is, up there. Anyway, this is a fun little town where I've like peppered garbage everywhere. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Let me go back and set the we'll go say thanks. If you guys have any last minute questions, you know, feel free to drop them in the chat real quick. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Like the video if you can. You know, go over and click that like button. Comment on the video if you think of something you'd like me to cover in the future. Thanks to the patrons again. Reminder that I have a Mythruna Monday videos that I try to put out every Monday, and so keep an eye out for those. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and you got to click the little bell thing, you know, so that you actually get notifications. If you guys are working on your own projects, I hope you have a really productive week, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming.